So yeah.
You see the match. We see every restart behind it.
I have it open. If you type in the chat now, you will be entered, bro. Sublak times 10 as always.
Reflexes.
You can use it free Twitch Prime if you want. Also running ads we have none during the grand final.
Moment of triumph.
And we will be watching the Rob's interview after this. 5-minute Rob's interview.
Victory isn't just the
How does he feel about facing his old boys?
Vitality versus Team FAZE, Bhai. Kaun jeetega?
Level up.
Am I allowed to talk over this? I don't know actually. Scheiße. Alzubau. What's up? Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Happy. Thank you as well, bro. Oh man. And I will need a rejuice after I roll this. Insta. Vamos. By the way, somebody messaged me and was saying during these giveaways when you type in the chat, the message doesn't go through because too many people are typing. Is that true, chat? Is that true? Just keep on trying, I guess. But it should be working. Like, it's on slow mode. Every 30 seconds you can type a message. If you type once, if it goes through once, you're fine. It's a Twitch rate limit. Okay, then you mother suckers only type one message per person. One message per person. You will be entered if you type one. You don't need to type two, bro, else other people won't be able to enter and you're hiring your odds. Wait, I didn't say that. Scheiße. Guys, only one message per person, please. Oh, man. Mods, maybe go 1 minute slow mode. Maybe go 1 minute, bro. Maybe go 1 minute, bro. How many people are already entered? 2.5. 2.5k, okay. Last ad, please. Yeah.
What's the favorite thing about the major, like
Dona.
the event in general?
I think it's the community getting back into it and like follow up and actually be
Dona
at the
and
major
get right.
because it's so extra for the players to be here. So it always makes it wonderful if you ask me.
I think it's about crowd.
Sasha!
When you're doing some specific highlight moment or you're just winning game, I feel like players just enjoying it.
And they're rooting for Apex.
Jason
Usually
R.
they're booing.
Who has impressed you most at the STARLADDER
Wait.
major so far?
I think
He didn't deny the Dona interview?
Also because like he has been like having a rough time and then like he stepped up more and more.
WJC,
So I
may have
see him
changed.
like getting used to it. I feel like this, but you know you can always bring out Donk, Saivo and all of those people because they're always gonna perform.
Yeah.
But for him, it's a little bit extra for me personally.
Easily FAZE as a
Jeez.
team, but more specifically Brokey.
FAZE. Just FAZE has been the most fun. Caught everybody off guard. Saddest thing is for sure Fury, though. I mean, but yeah, FAZE has been the most fun so far.
Yes,
What
sir.
has been your favorite moment at the major, at this major so far?
Zwei, that ace on B, it reminded me of like
This
Freiburg back in the day with the M4A4. I think that kind of is going to catapult Zwei into being the player that he should be.
Fallen's 1v3, I've never heard an arena be that loud. I almost jumped out of my chair.
The Fallen 1v3 probably was the most exciting. I almost lost my voice yesterday.
Disgusting.
Overall, I think just seeing Brokey and Wonderful doing really well. It might not be a moment, but seeing both them perform in playoffs, I feel like is going to make this playoffs even more fun.
What a golden answer.
1v3, but man, Navi did so stupid things, you know, like how can you lose this?
I mean, I'm a boomer, so Fallen's won with free clutch yesterday, and I went fucking nuts on that moment. So, and the Brazilian community loved that me as a boomer also standing behind, their boomers. It's like, it was hilarious. So, sadly, they didn't win, but I gotta at least see Fallen play again, and I'm so happy for that.
Which of these teams would you
community,
love
bro.
to play against?
I want to play against Donk. Yeah, I think Donk is someone we've never seen before. Like, even he's putting up numbers
gonna
that
clap your cheeks, buddy.
prime oppers don't get. And he's a rifler. He's incredible.
Play against? None of them. What the?
I mean, it would be better if I played against my forward team NFP and win over them just for the sake of it. But otherwise, it would be like FaZe Clan, to be honest. That would be like more fun because of the history and, the struggle this year and Carrigan, the legend as well. So it just would be fun, to be honest.
Me, personally, I would love to play against FaZe since they were my favorite team the entire time I played Counter-Strike. I think I got a chance to.
Honestly, what do you enjoy playing right now more, CS2 or Dota?
CS2 if I have team, Dota, yeah. Dota if you need to remove 3 players.
Chat. People were calling Sasha out for like grinding Dota. Like he was having like, I don't know, there was like a stat like he played 20 FAZE games and like 100 Dota games in a week or something. I don't know. Yo, Dona is crazy for asking that. W Dona, bro. He did not expect that. Oh my god. Oh my god.
One final match
right.
in 2025, and for
All
the
right, we're
first
running.
time in major
Let's
history,
go.
we will be crowning our
Yo.
champion in a best.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. Let's run it real quick. Let's run it real quick. Let me open up my Steam inventory. What are we giving away? Real fast, bro. Real fast. You scammers, bro. I'm only giving away this giveaway because what did I say? $1,000 giveaway if they win the round, and then they were fucking killing themselves. Oh, hell no. Disgusting. Here we go. One message in the chat and you will be entered. Bam. It is open right now. Has been open. I got you. Has been open for the past like 5 minutes. So 5K people are already entered. If you typed in the chat in the last 5 minutes, you're already entered, bro. If you're unsure, just type one more message, bro. Type one more message. Quick reminder, sub like is times 10 as always. The giveaways always pay themselves, and it's a free sub. So I would appreciate it if you can check. Twitch Prime is free. It's 2 clicks of a button. You can use it anywhere. Click on subscribe and then the blue crown at the bottom. Right here. Blue crown when you click on subscribe. Free sub. If you're on phone, exclamation mark Prime. Ups your chances by 10. Here we go. Last chance to enter. Last chance to upgrade your luck. I'm going to be rolling this fast. No waiting, no stalling. No waiting, no stalling. What do we give away? Let me check real quick. Let's do... How much are these? How much is this? 800. Let's do these 2 butterfly black lambs. Deal or no deal? Deal or no deal? First winner gets a butterfly black lamb. Second winner gets a butterfly black lamb. Instantly in your inventory. Instantly. We gave away 3 knives, including an M9 Gamma Doppler, like two days ago. You instantly receive it in your inventory. Instantly. Last chance. As you see, these were the last winners. Wait, 5 knives. M9, Marble Fade. Bayonet Doppler, Bayonet Doppler. All right, here we go. If you want a butterfly black lamb, type in the chat, bro. Here we go. Rolling first winner. Last chance to sub up for 10 times luck. In 5. And shout out to PSP. I won 100 gifted by PSP, bro. That's why I'm doing a little bit more than 1,000. WPSP, bro. Maybe I'm doing an extra one. Maybe I'm doing one more at the end. 4. 3. Last chance. 2. 1. A minute. I need your trade link, bro. Type please in the chat your trade link. I'm gonna give you VIP so your message always goes through. Now, you have VIP. Type in the chat, bro. Type in the chat, please. If you're... He's here. He's here. Need your trade link, bro. I'm gonna re-roll for the second winner. Another butterfly black lamb. In 3. 2. 1. Bam. Mr. Prep Packed. W part-time streamer. Alright, bro. I need your trade link also. If you send me your trade link right now, I can send you instantly the knife, bro. Trade link in the chat. Alright, boom. I need your trade link. W's in the chat, bro. Maybe we're doing more later, maybe not. We will see. I need a 60-second register, boys. I need a 60 seconds. After I'm back, I will check if they sent the trade link. I will be sending out the knives, and then we're going to be watching the major grand final of 2025. The last game of Counter-Strike, by the way. This is it, bro. Everybody locked in. Everybody take a register. You need to be ready. FAZE versus Vitality in a BO5.
I think what you
It's a
take away
marathon,
from
not a
those
sprint today.
moments for
A
Donker
marathon.
After that map number 1 in particular, like,
Who do you
this
have?
game
I
means
myself
so
have
much to
FAZE.
him. You had a
After
really
this,
good
we're going to be
run
watching the
yesterday, I
Robs
believe,
interview.
Maui,
I'll hurry up.
Last
I'll
year
hurry
for
up.
Donk, his debut year on the tier 1 scene. Literally
Time is
anything he could pick
clicking.
up was,
60
just
seconds
an
and I'm
added
back.
bonus of showing what he
Starting
can attribute to
now.
Counter-Strike. This year has been the real test for him, and there's been some adversity he's had to quell, and it's not always been him being the problem within the team, right? Basically never.
What's terrifying is that that we have seen in Counter-Strike, the peaks of riflers are very fleeting in nature, that people like coldzera come and go. 2 years of being at the pinnacle of competition, and then a year later, you're wondering where they even are at that point. So Donk and everybody on Spirit has to recognize that this is a limited window. He's of course young. I'm sure he has another year, 2 years, hopefully even more to give, but you are operating with a finite amount of time and space for him to just deliver you trophies, so everybody has to get on board.
Yeah, let's talk about how Vitality made it to this very stage, first of all. Of course, managing to take down the Mongols in very convincing fashion in their quarterfinal. That was a necessity for them. Then yesterday versus Spirit. Was there a point where, of course, we look at the Spirit side of things and go, okay, you let that one slip away from you. Was there a shift in the system? Was there a moment where you looked at things and thought, okay, Vitality, they're now in the driver's seat?
I mean, yeah, obviously on Mirage, once we got into overtime and once they finally got the win in that game, it was a game that could have gone either way. I think that Mirage game versus Spirit, that kind of, you know, fast-forwarded Vitality and made them believe that even when they're not playing their A game, they still had the ability to beat a team like Spirit, still had the ability to beat a guy like Donk as well, firing on all cylinders. And then I guess the unsung hero from yesterday was Messi. He bought time for Cyber. He bought time for Rubs for them to come alive. After the game, we spoke about how fantastically well Rubs played, but also for Messi, right? Had it not been for him, there would have been no win on Mirage. So I think the fact that we saw the whole support cast for Vitality performing well, that was the turnaround moment for me.
That's what you have.
It's scary. It's scary when you have 5 players on the server. They all can contribute. They all can perform at the highest peaks at their role. So I think that, you know, this is a weak Vitality, so to speak, that we're seeing today compared to the first half of the year. But they're still so scary. They still have all the individuals. They can have pop-up moments. And it's going to be a real test for FaZe to kind of break that down and stop, even if you stop Rops. You got Saivu, you got Flamesy, you got Messi, you got Apex. He's gonna deliver you some of those X-Factor rounds as well. So there's a lot of things you need to shut down for this FaZe side on the Vitality.
We got to see the stage 3 results there from Vitality. It's been a bit more of a scenic route for FaZe, though, Maui. They started off literally from day 1, stage 1 of the major. They've had a marathon, by no means a sprint. What have you taken away from kind of the progression we've seen throughout each day, stage rather, and how they've made it to this very stage today?
It was Twist when he was on FaZe back in 2023 saying that the longer you let FaZe into a tournament, the longer they play it out, the better they get. And that same DNA still sits within them all today. The fact that they had to battle through stage 1 from really the precipice of a failure of a season, I would even say the precipice of a roster change or two, and then getting all the way to the grand finals. I think some fans are almost a little, they're on 2 sides of the coin right now with FaZe, where you probably thought, just lose in the early round, then they're forced to make a change. They have to make a change. And now you're beginning to believe, because the way that they dismantled teams in stage 2, the way they took the fight to teams in stage 3, how they have actually beaten every successive opponent into the playoffs, this is what dreams are made of. This is why FaZe is just the most likable and exciting team in Counter-Strike.
And that's the crazy thing, right? Because you're describing right here, stage 1, it almost ended. We've been speaking about it plenty of times, and I know people out there are getting kind of tired of hearing it, but the 0.4 second diffuse against Red Candidates, right? They were so close for it to be eliminated. Against Fluxo as well, I think we even have it right here. Against Fluxo, they were down 10-4 on the 3rd deciding map as well. So for them to fight their way back into this tournament and now be in the final, it is unheard of. Completely unheard of.
Tell me what this means, Maui, because this moment could have decided the fate for FaZe, but it went the other way.
He had a smoke.
It's just
he had a smoke.
It's just so disappointing for history here, because he could have been part of the history books himself. And yes, he has all the utility to stop Kerrigan from getting an easy shot right here. But that's kind of what epitomizes the FaZe BS we keep talking about.
But he could have just taken another step into that wall.
There's so many things.
Angles.
Oh, there's so many things every team could have done to take down this FaZe. But FaZe, I don't even think that FaZe always play A+, the best CS in the world. It's just that when the pressure's on, they're still playing their game just fine. Everybody else gets words around them.
Yeah, they are incredible. They are like an anomaly in Counter-Strike in some sense, because I think every single game that I've watched FaZe, I've said, oh, they're out, they're done, they're going out of this tournament right now. But somehow they have the individuals of Frozen, Twist, Jacob at times, you know, and Brokey, when he gets into these clutch moments, when, you know, teams are actually to the point of shutting them down, closing the round out, that's when they get nervous. That's when they get stressed, because you know in the back of your mind, this is FaZe. They can pull anything out of a hat at any moment.
I think you have an excellent point, Mao, saying that FaZe just keeps their level right. You know, maybe they've gotten better throughout the tournament so far. Obviously, the way they played in stage 1, it was looking much better in stage 2, much better here in the playoff. And I do want to say as well, as much as we talk about the FaZe bullshit and, you know, FaZe maybe, you know, having a magical moment, it's legit what they've done so far.
Yes.
Right? They beat Mouse in a quarterfinal in this stage quite convincingly. They took down Na'Vi yesterday as well. So yeah, you could argue they're way into the playoff by beating 3D Max, by beating Passion UA. Maybe they had the easiest route, but from that point and onwards, they've been delivering and they've taken down some big names, so they fully deserve to be in the grand final, no doubt.
Whenever people say, you know, you're lucky, I totally believe in the phrase that you make your own luck, right? And FaZe just totally epitomized that. We saw the stage 3 results and Vitality flashing up on screen. There was only one flare of red, and actually was versus FaZe in the best of ones. But what else can we take from 2025 in terms of the head-to-heads that we've seen between these two squads?
I mean, it kind of illustrates what we've known from the entirety of the season, that Vitality have been a significantly better team than FaZe. But even so, a lot of those claims have been close. 2-1 victories for Vitality in a period of time where they were the best team in the world and FaZe was scrambling, couldn't figure it out, couldn't really, you know, solve their issues and become relevant. So I think fact of the matter is, again, each game in the playoff live its own life, but FaZe have been close before when they were at their worst. So what's to believe that Karrigan can't tell his teammates right now that, listen, we've been close before, now we're actually playing good proper Counter-Strike, we can definitely take them now.
And I think even 2 of those, the last ones, there were 2 overtime victories for Vitality on one of the maps. So it is feasible, it's possible, and they made it close every single time. And the latest game of Nuke as well, where they, you know, this is the one that for me kind of makes Karrigan, you know, we speak about him. He's so creative. He can change the entire style of the team in such a short notice, and everyone's on board. That's impressive. That's good leadership. That's, you know, a guy that you can rely on, that also makes his players calm, because you know that Karrigan is going to make the difference-making call in a game at any moment. So it's easy to follow a guy like that into a match like this.
Now, it might be cliche that we keep on saying, you know, you don't know what's going to happen when FaZe enters a major stage, but there is a reason that we keep on saying that, Jacob. The data, actually, funnily enough, does back that saying up for CS2 majors at least.
Yeah, I mean, FaZe Clan have been doing one hell of a job getting into the grand finals and becoming relatively competitive in every single major they played, right? There's been 4 so far in CS2, and now they find themselves in the 3rd final as an organization. Karrigan has been the one constant in that one. He's been in every single one of those, I guess, successes. The issue for Karrigan is that he's not necessarily winning the vast majority of those games. He's played 4 major grand finals so far, only won 1, and let's be honest, he's walking into another one here tonight where he is not the favorite. So in terms of this whole GOAT conversation and, you know, being the greatest in-game leader of all time, I feel like if you were to poke an argument against Karrigan and against FaZe Clan, it's the fact that he could be walking away tonight with 5 major grand finals, having only won a single one of them. That's not looking too great.
Hey, even Simple didn't win every single time he reached a major playoff. Still crown him as the CSGO GOAT. I would say it's almost similar for Karrigan. It's what's making it so special and what makes you consider him in that rarefied air near the top in the pantheon of leaders is that he gets his team, who should have no business being in the grand finals, there. And so not always can he lift the trophy himself. He still relies on the talent around him, and I would say that as a leader, he's already proven his value. I don't think anybody would look at a team with the form that Brokey's shown lately, with the form that Jacob had heading into this major and say, oh yeah, surely they're gonna make the major grand finals. In fact, there were 26-1 odds that they were gonna even win this tournament. Like, they were so low on any bookmaker to say, yeah, FaZe is gonna win. It was all those Furious, Falcons, but that's where some of those teams probably wish they had a Karrigan who could keep their teams in check in the high pressure moments.
In all the grand finals he's ever played at majors, you know, this was the least expected one. This was the one where you could look at the lineup thinking, there's absolutely no way Karrigan. As we saw in stage 1, you're so close getting out of it, so I very much agree there's nuances to that discussion. But at the end of the day, you know, I do feel like we live in an era, and I don't know if that's just me, you know, when you hone in on Falcons, you hone in on the Mongols, you hone in on Na'Vi. Apparently the only thing in today's day and age Counter-Strike that matters is winning. It's the trophies, because I'm always being told that I never won anything, so how could I speak now, right? I've been second so many times, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count in today's modern day, Counter-Strike. So it does feel a bit for Karrigan that getting into the finals without winning, it can harness your reputation a little
I thought you were like 0.04% players or something like that. I don't know. Go and check his Twitter. Anyway, speaking of consistency, Karrigan obviously up there in terms of FaZe Clan making it to those CS2 majors, but one more so is Rops. He's never missed out on a CS2 major final. Isn't that crazy?
I mean, I feel like it's just incredibly fitting that Cool is his last name, because this guy is just the most complimentary piece to a superstar you could ever have. In fact, I think he's reached or attained superstar status in his own right as being really maybe the best secondary star for any team ever. He's helping in terms of mid-round calling. He's helping in terms of holding on to space. As an anchor, he always overperforms. As a lurker, he's creating new opportunities in the mid-round for people like Apex to really widen their playbook. I mean, Rops gives you so many options, because if you're defending against Rops, it is just a nightmare. This guy is haunting your dreams like Freddy Krueger. It's just unreal how often he has them in the Hurt Locker. If he's just lurking against you at ramp, you just never know when he's going to strike, or even if he's there at all.
But it's also like, how often do you see Rops get caught off guard? You know, you played with lurkers, I've played with a bunch of them, and they always, you know, get caught off guard. People try to hunt them down, especially when they can't figure out the kind of executes and how to defend it. You have to look at the other side of the map to kind of gain the map control and catch the lurker off guard. Rops almost never gets caught off guard. He keeps that map control, that space of the map, just theirs at the entire time, and that's so important in Counter-Strike, to kind of force the CTs into these defensive positions where they cannot gain any information to make reads on you.
I think the best way you can describe it is that Rops is one of the few rifles in the world where teams will go into a game and they will plan against him, right? They'll try to figure out, what is he doing, how is he playing, how do we make sure that he doesn't find the impact that he's so good at finding. There's a lot of players in today's Counter-Strike right now, and that's not to speak ill of them, where they're just a factor in the game. They're part of the game, they're part of a team. Rops is one of those catalysts behind winning, not only in FaZe Clan when he was playing there, but also in Vitality. And I bet you, every single time someone is facing Vitality right now, they have a little note, they have a little section where they're preparing for Rops specifically, because if he's allowed to do whatever he wants, he will win the game for Vitality. And that's not to be said for a lot of the players that we do see in the playoff even, where they're just part of a system. Rops is kind of making the system.
Not to put you on the spot, Maui, but where does Rops land in terms of your top 20? Obviously more top 10, maybe top 5 discussion for 2025.
Depends what you value. He's between 3 and 5, with no doubt. And really, if you value the prestige trophies, if you value Katowice, Cologne, the majors above all else, you might put him above m0NESY, who by the numbers alone maybe beats him, but it's just that when push comes to shove, huge moment, massive tournament where all the stakes are on the line, the ones we're going to remember in years to come, Rops has been that guy. So I think right now I might have to put him at number 3.
Speaking of numbers, what does the data tell us about ZywOo in terms of this major versus some of the other majors that he's participated in, and obviously won as well?
Well, I mean, he's played 10 majors so far in his career, and he's having his best statistically major ever right now. We're looking at a ZywOo that is playing at an incredible high level, and it almost goes a bit unnoticing, right? Because we're speaking of Dunk, we're speaking of m0NESY, we're speaking of Kyusuke, we're speaking of all these new stars coming into the mix, but I feel like ZywOo is slowly but surely ramping up his game as well, following the development of all these star players around and all the different teams, and maybe we don't give him enough credit for that, because he's still playing at an incredible high level. And I say that with a bit of a mannerism, let's put it that way, because obviously he's still in contention to be crowned the best player of 2025, so he does get credit. But having your best major ever in a year where m0NESY is popping off, in a year where Dunk is popping off, that speaks volume to ZywOo. He's not going to be left behind. He's not okay with being the second best, third best as last year, etc. He's going to try to elevate his game at all times.
For being such a humble guy, obviously in the interviews, he's always talking about how he just wants the team to win. He wasn't happy when he got number 3 at those HLTV awards at the beginning of this year, because, yeah, it's one thing to lose out to Dunk, but to m0NESY too? Now, ZywOo took that one personally.
and I don't blame him. Okay, I just want to put something out there, because people are accusing me of being patriotic. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not the least bit patriotic
now? Yeah.
Until it comes to British Counter-Strike, and we have to give our flowers to Mezzy. Yesterday, we talked about it, Devil Walk, the fact that Mezzy bought time for Vitality in that series versus Spirit. Super underrated player, and it was one of those moments where you could go, okay, this was a moment where he had to shine in order for his team to have those moments to warm up into that semi-final.
Yeah, I think he's a jack of all trades. You know, I think that when they lose someone that can entry, he can fill that role. When they lose someone that can lurk, he can fill that role. He's obviously been an in-game leader as well.
Let's go.
But, yeah. yesterday,
Are
he
you ready
kinda
or not?
popped off. He bought time. It
Let me
was a
quickly
map
send
they
out the
got
knives,
demolished
all
on,
right?
They got out cold. They got
Then we're gonna watch
out-fragged,
Rob's interview.
But eventually, as you said earlier on, Jacob, the stars started to kind of warm up into the game and took over for him. And that's what you want to see, and that's why Vitality is so dangerous. Because,
Chat,
you know,
is
he
FaZe
had
gonna get smashed
performances
today or
that,
no?
You know, Saivu and Robs had
All the
in
odds are
beginning
so
of the
against us,
game,
bro.
And then they
Like-
start waking up.
But then again, we made it to the grand final, bro. From stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, now to the grand final.
Teams that they came from.
That's
Of course,
nonsense.
now, when they're on
Why
the
would the
best
Magic
teams in
end
the world,
now?
They have to fit the mold of whatever is asked of them, whatever they need. I mean, Mezzi was both the IGL and the star of his most recent.
Give me a second,
He
I'm
is
sending
an
out the trade, then I'm
invaluable
ready.
piece to this Vitality roster. One of the most overqualified B anchors you could possibly ask for. Like, to have this guy on jump spotting duties to just make sure that he can deploy the utility, buy time for rotation, it's ludicrous.
I'm
Like, he
excited
should
for the
be
for the
multi-fraging every
show.
single person, but that's just what happens when you're playing tier 1 elite CS. You gotta just make sure you play for the team, and Mezzi does just that.
Right.
Such an ungrateful position to be in for Messi as well, because I do feel like throughout this year,
Yo,
obviously
yo, yo,
he's
yo,
won an
hey,
awful
hey,
lot
hey.
of trophies, and he bought into that project, right? You're going from being a star player in Fnatic.
Unprivate
going to
your inventory,
Vitality.
bruh.
You're doing whatever you need to do, right? Whenever Apex tells you to
One of
jump
the two
on
winners,
the
you need to
action on
unprivate,
Mirage,
bro,
you're gonna jump
unprivate.
as much as you possibly can to get all the
I'll
information.
check back
but
later.
It's also the
First
guy
one
we
is
always
sent
look
out.
towards when Vitality are not
All
winning.
right.
Oh, they can only go into the semi-final. Not really performing right here. Okay, so who do we blame? Who do we look at? Oh, maybe Messi's not doing his job.
It's
But I
time.
feel like throughout that period where Vitality didn't win stuff, he was the one who kept his level, right? He never really had downgraded. He never really played any worse than he did up until the point where they were winning. So I feel like for Messi, ungrateful positions, ungrateful role, but I think he deserves all the praise